How did SpongeBob revive my love for a video game genre? Let me explain.
Please step into my gamatorium.
What's up guys, it's Mike here, welcome back to my channel. Hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Now, let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm gonna make a massive call that might upset a lot of people. I have never watched SpongeBob. Okay, that's not entirely true, but let me explain. Growing up, I never had Nickelodeon, and I saw bits and pieces of SpongeBob at friends' houses, and I realized how significant it is as a cartoon, but I never really got into it.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
I saw the original movie and I know all the characters and I think they're all really, really lovable. That being said, it just never was really something I got into. But recently I have been very into SpongeBob in a way that maybe you wouldn't expect, because SpongeBob has completely reinvigorated my love of the 3D collectathon platformer.
Let's hear it for SpongeBob!
If you have no idea what I just said, then let me take you back about 25 years and explain it to you. When I was a kid, 3D platformers were my favorite video game genre. Some of you might remember games like Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, even later games like Jak and Daxter, or even to a lesser extent Ratchet and Clank. If we're looking at the Nintendo 64 era, the 3D platformer was a staple of gaming. And games like Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie were also called collectathons, where you traversed a series of different worlds amongst a hub world and you would collect generally golden things. In Super Mario 64, you would run around different worlds, access them through paintings and collect golden stars.
Here we go!
In Banjo-Kazooie, you would do a similar thing, but instead of stars, you'd collect jigsaw pieces or jiggies. But the joy of a lot of these games was just exploring, solving puzzles, finding things, and that dopamine hit every single time you collect one of these goddamn things.
Whoa, that's good squishy.
And I never would have expected SpongeBob to hit me hard with nostalgia on PlayStation 5 with games like Spongebob Squarepants, The Cosmic Shake, and Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom.
I've got nerves of steel and muscles of sand.
Both of these games were recently free on PlayStation Plus, which I subscribed to because games are expensive now and free games are great. And I decided to give Cosmic Shake a shot because I thought it looked like an old school 3D platformer, and I was really pleasantly surprised by the quality of this game.
I wish for Patrick to have the biggest, ballooniest adventure of his life.
Functionally, it is exactly like these old 3D platformers, which only really need to do a few things to be really good. The first is that it needs to feel really good and easy to move your character around, and that was the beauty of Super Mario 64, the first 3D platformer game with Mario in it. It was just so easy to pick up and play as Mario in a 3D space, and it felt great controlling him. And in the Cosmic Shake, SpongeBob actually responds really well, and it just feels really good to play as him and move around the world. The other thing they need to do is have interesting worlds that you can traverse around to solve puzzles. And Banjo-Kazooie did this amazingly. It had worlds like Freeze Easy Peak, which was a winter wonderland, and Treasure Trove Cove, which was a beach wonderland. All coupled with this amazing musical score that just made it so much fun to explore. And SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake does really similar things. It has a great movie set themed world, it has a Halloween themed world. It's just really fun to explore the different worlds and have these different themes and solve all the puzzles.
People will be like, why is it called puzzles? That's the puzzle.
I think it's easy to dismiss a lot of these games as like kids game, particularly with SpongeBob, but it's actually really fun and really gets your mind moving when you have to figure out how to solve a puzzle. And once I finally 100%ed Spongebob the Cosmic Shake and got the Platinum Trophy on PS5, by the way, I would love at some point to do a video on trophy hunting because I am obsessed with doing that and I love it. I ended up downloading Battle for Bikini Bottom as well, which is also a really good 3D platformer. This is a remaster of a game that actually came out years ago, and it plays slightly different to the Cosmic Shake. It actually incorporates elements of Donkey Kong 64, which if you played that game, you will know it was a bloated collectathon that gets a lot of criticism today. But as a kid, I really enjoyed it. You would have to switch between 5 different characters and solve different puzzles based on their different skills. And aside from the fact that you had to backtrack a lot, I still found it really fun and interesting to unlock different abilities for these different monkeys. And like I said, it's similar in Battle for Bikini Bottom because you can swap between SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, who all have slightly different abilities and different puzzles that each of them are able to solve. While I've got you, I just wanted to let you know that most people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, and I'd love for you to jump on if you've watched a few of my videos. That's all. I guess I've been yearning for a long time to a true resurgence of the 3D platformer. There's been a lot of attempts and strong attempts over the years, including stuff like Yooka-Laylee and even Super Mario Odyssey, which is pretty much the spiritual successor to Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie in my opinion. But I never would have expected SpongeBob to be the figurehead of what I truly wanted from a 3D platformer. I just think this game is so much fun to control, and there's so much joy in the characters of SpongeBob, the original voice actors, and all of this kind of going hand in hand and combining to making a really, really good gaming experience. I think in the 2000s, we saw a lot of indie developers developing games that harkened back to like the 16 and 32-bit era of gaming. Lots of pixel art and 2D platformers. And I actually think that coming into the mid-2020s and into the 2030s, we might start seeing developers who grew up with games like Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. And thus maybe a boom in independent developers making spiritual successors to those games. But with all that said, the SpongeBob games really blew my mind and have completely reinvigorated my excitement for the 3D platformer, and that's awesome. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, my channel's growing, so I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Let me know, what is your favorite 3D platform game of all time? For me, it's definitely Banjo-Tooie, not Banjo-Kazooie. But drop yours in the comments below. I would love to know. Hey, you can also check out a bunch of my other videos, and as well as that, I do a blog, and it's just on Substack. There's a link in the description below. It's all about pop culture, mental health, and living with anxiety as a millennial. If you think it's interesting, it comes out every 2 weeks on a Sunday. I also have a bunch of podcasts. You can basically find all of my content on my channel. There's links there. So I'd love for you to explore the universe that I am creating on the internet. Hey, thank you so much for watching today, guys. I really appreciate it. My name's Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind, and I'll catch you in another video.